Right now, your refrigerator is a time bomb. 4 hours. That's all you have before everything inside enters the danger zone when the power goes out. And blackouts aren't rare anymore. They're happening more often, lasting longer, and hitting harder. But what if I told you there are 10 proven strategies that can keep your food fresh for days, even weeks, without a single watt of electricity? In this video, you'll discover cold storage survival hacks that most people don't know, from ancient techniques to modern off-grid solutions. By the end, you'll know exactly how to protect hundreds of dollars in groceries and keep your family fed when the grid goes dark. Welcome to Food Decider, where we help you make smarter decisions about storing, preserving, and protecting your food. If you find even one tip here that could save your food stash, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our next video. Let's start with your most powerful weapon in a blackout, your freezer. Most people see their freezer as a place for frozen pizza and ice cream, but it's actually your #1 cold battery. And here's the golden rule you need to remember. Never leave your freezer half empty. Every bit of empty space is wasted cold that could be keeping your food safe. Fill every gap with frozen water bottles, milk jugs, or heavy-duty Ziploc bags filled with water. These ice blocks hold cold far longer than you'd think. They act as thermal anchors, keeping your freezer cold well after the power goes out. And here's the bonus. Once they thaw, you have clean, drinkable water in easy-to-carry containers. It's a 2-for-1 survival hack. The science behind this is simple but powerful. A full freezer maintains its temperature roughly twice as long as an empty one. Think of it like packing a cooler for a camping trip. The more ice you have, the slower everything warms up. The key is to prepare ahead. Don't wait until the power goes out to fill your freezer because you can't freeze water in a dead freezer. Keep a rotation of bottles ready to go. Use different sizes for different purposes. Gallon jugs for bulk cold storage, smaller bottles for filling gaps or transferring to a cooler later. Your freezer is a vault, and the tighter and fuller you pack it, the more time you buy when the grid goes dark. Now let's talk about coolers. They're not just for picnics, they're your mobile fridge during a blackout. With a few strategic upgrades, a basic cooler can actually outperform your dead refrigerator by days. First, line your cooler with reflective insulation. Use emergency blankets or foil-backed bubble wrap to bounce cold back inside instead of letting it escape. Next, switch to frozen saltwater packs instead of plain ice. Salt lowers the freezing point, so these packs stay colder for much longer than regular ice. Organization matters more than you think. Put your most perishable items, meat and dairy, closest to the cold packs. Put sturdier foods like root vegetables and condiments on the edges where it's slightly warmer. And here's a pro move. If you know an outage is coming, pre-chill your cooler the night before. Pack it with ice or frozen bottles so the cooler itself absorbs cold before you even add food. A supercharged cooler like this can buy you days of food security, stretching your supplies and keeping panic at bay while everyone else is scrambling. But here's an even better strategy. Don't rely solely on your regular fridge and freezer. Dedicate a heavy-duty cooler as your emergency refrigerator. Think of it as your designated backup system. The moment the power blinks off, you move into action. Transfer your high-priority items immediately, meat, dairy, eggs, and anything else that spoils quickly, into this dedicated ice chest. But here's the trick. You've already loaded it beforehand with pre-frozen gel packs, saltwater bottles, or frozen jugs. It's ready to go before the emergency even starts. The real power of this method is minimal opening. The less you open this emergency cooler, the more stable the temperature stays inside. With proper layering and discipline about opening it, this single cooler can keep food safe for 7 to 10 days. You can rotate frozen packs from another freezer, grab block ice from neighbors, or even make ice with solar power if you have it available. This isn't just about survival, it's about peace of mind. While your neighbors are tossing spoiled groceries into the trash, you're still enjoying fresh food like nothing happened. Now let's dive into thermal mass, because understanding this will change how you think about cold storage. Cold food loves company. When you pack food tightly together, you create thermal mass, which means it takes much longer for everything to warm up. Start by creating zones in your cooler or fridge. Put raw meat and fish on the bottom, with frozen water bottles acting as your cold base. Place dairy and produce in the middle where the temperature is most stable. Pack everything tightly so less warm air can sneak in between items. Next, add insulation layers. Towels, blankets, reflective emergency blankets, and even cardboard sheets all slow down heat transfer. Wrap your coolers or even your dead fridge doors with survival blankets to reflect heat away from the cold interior. And here's a practical tip. Organize your essentials so you can grab them quickly. The faster you can get what you need and close the door, the better. This simple, cheap layering system can stretch the clock on spoilage by days, and it requires nothing more than items you probably already have at home. Let's talk about dry ice, because this is a game changer most people overlook. Dry ice isn't just for Halloween parties or shipping frozen food, it's a blackout lifesaver. Unlike regular ice, dry ice sublimates, which means it turns directly from solid to gas without creating puddles of water.
Just 10 pounds of dry ice can keep a packed cooler frozen for 24 to 48 hours, and even longer if you layer it smartly. But there's another benefit most people don't know about. As dry ice evaporates, it fills the space with carbon dioxide. The CO2 atmosphere pushes out oxygen, which slows spoilage, mold growth, and bacteria. Here's how to use it correctly. Place dry ice on top of your food, not on the bottom. Cold air sinks, so putting it on top keeps everything evenly frozen as the cold cascades down. Wrap the dry ice in newspaper or cardboard to slow the sublimation rate and make it last longer. Safety is important here. Never touch dry ice with bare hands, it will burn your skin. And make sure there's adequate ventilation because CO2 can build up in enclosed spaces. If you know a blackout is coming, many grocery stores sell dry ice by the pound. Stash it in your freezer to buy yourself critical extra time. But sometimes the best defense is a good offense. Don't wait for food to spoil, act fast and preserve it immediately. If you know the power will be out for more than a day or two, you need to get proactive. Start cooking. Grill, bake, or stew your meats right away. Cooked meat lasts longer than raw, and it can be eaten cold if necessary. Boil your milk to extend its life. Hard boil your eggs to create safe, protein-rich snacks that don't need refrigeration. If you have fruits and vegetables that are about to turn, dehydrate them. Use a dehydrator if you have one, or take advantage of a sunny day to air dry produce. Dehydration buys you weeks of storage time instead of days. For the truly prepared, canning is your ultimate preservation method. Pressure canning or water bath canning can make meats, soups, beans, and vegetables shelf-stable for months or even years. Day one of a blackout is your window to act. Preservation always beats hesitation because once food spoils, there's no going back. Now let's talk strategy because you can't save everything and trying to will waste your resources. In a blackout, you need to prioritize high-value foods, proteins, fats, and dairy. These are calorie-dense, nutritious, and much harder to replace than a head of lettuce. Think of it like triage in an emergency room. Save your meat, cheese, milk, butter, and yogurt first. Group your perishables by priority so you're not letting low-value items like cucumbers or herbs take up prime cooler space that could be protecting a pound of ground beef or a block of cheese. Ice and cooler space are currency in a blackout. Spend them wisely. Focus on what matters most and don't stress about saving everything. This mental shift reduces panic and helps you maximize your survival buffer with the resources you have. Let's step back in time for a moment because before refrigerators existed, people kept food cold using methods that still work today. The earth and water are natural refrigerators, and you can tap into them with almost no equipment. Underground storage is remarkably effective. Just a few feet below the surface, the ground holds a steady temperature of around 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. To use this, bury sealed containers or stash food in insulated waterproof boxes underground. The setup is quick. Dig a trench, place a sealed container inside, cover it with a tarp, and bury it under soil. This works especially well for root vegetables, canned goods, and sealed jars. You've just created a natural cold cellar with nothing but a shovel and some planning. Water submersion is another ancient trick. Streams, ponds, and wells are naturally cooler than the air around them, especially in shade. Submerge sealed containers like mason jars, watertight bins, or heavy-duty Ziplocs inside buckets and sink them into moving water. Even in urban settings, you can use rain barrels or large tubs. Water resists temperature change much better than air, so even stagnant water stays cooler longer. These hacks require no electricity, no fancy gear, just physics and a bit of preparation. For those who want to take food security seriously, portable solar power paired with a 12-volt fridge freezer is the gold standard. These compact fridges are designed to sip power, running on as little as 40 to 60 watts, far less than a traditional refrigerator. Here's how the system works. You set up solar panels on a balcony, patio, or even a sunny window. Those panels charge a power station, which acts as a battery bank. Your 12-volt fridge plugs into that battery and cycles on and off as long as the sun keeps shining. This setup keeps your proteins and dairy safe without constant ice runs or cooler management. It's true independence from the grid. Yes, it's an investment, but it pays for itself the first time a blackout drags on for days or weeks and you don't lose a single item from your fridge. And here's the bonus. This isn't just for emergencies. Use it for camping, road trips, tailgating, or as extra freezer space in a small apartment. It's a lifestyle upgrade that happens to double as the ultimate emergency tool. And finally, let's talk about the rotation mindset, because cold storage resilience isn't about panicking when the lights go out. It's about building habits before the emergency happens. The worst possible time to figure out your strategy is in the dark with spoiling food. Start rotating your frozen water jugs. Every time you use one, replace it immediately so you always have a wall of ice ready to deploy. Set aside a section of your freezer specifically for blackout rations, pre-cooked casseroles, vacuum-sealed meats, ready-to-heat soups. Rotate these in and out just like you would with pantry goods. This habit removes panic from the equation and stretches your resilience. You always know what's in your freezer, where it is, and exactly how you'll use it when the power fails. And the best part?
This doesn't require a second freezer or more square footage. Even small apartments can build this rotation habit without sacrificing living space. A power outage doesn't have to mean losing your food, not if you have the right systems in place. These 10 strategies put you in control, turning days into weeks of safe food storage. Whether you're filling your freezer with ice packs, supercharging your cooler, using dry ice, or investing in solar-powered fridges, you now have a complete playbook. What's your #1 blackout food saving hack? Drop it in the comments. Your tip could save someone's groceries next time the lights go out. If you learned something new today, share this video with a friend or neighbor. In a world where blackouts are becoming normal, a little knowledge goes a long way. And don't forget to subscribe to Food Decider for more practical food storage and preservation strategies. Stay prepared, stay fed.